confirmed White House officials admitting that 3 years ago, Dick Cheney wanted to paint up U.S. ships like Iranian ships and blow up a U.S. destroyer. Okay, guys, when you begin to understand that, of course, they would use two different CIA teams and a mafia hit team, all men who had committed scores of murders and assassinations. I mean, let's take E. Howard Hunt. Okay, E. Howard Hunt, of course, everybody knows about the cover of Rolling Stone a few years ago, the deathbed confession of E. Howard Hunt. Well, guess what? We actually broke that first. And we've interviewed St. John Hunt. You should have him on. And we actually released on YouTube the video and the audio of E. Howard Hunt, who was actually arrested that day, photographed. It looks just like him as one of the tramps that people said they saw shooting and then ran to one of the rail cars. And the police were ordered then to release them. And E. Howard Hunt, who admittedly in World War II was a sniper in China, okay, he said in his deathbed confession to his son that, yes, LBJ and others, and that's as high as it went, wanted Kennedy dead, and that, yes, he wasn't pulling triggers there. He was running multiple hit teams, running mafia hit teams. He was running a European hit team, a Pentagon hit team, and that he was there for the, quote, big event. They had planned to kill him in Chicago the week before, but that was called off. So LBJ... By the way, when E. Howard Hunt threatened to go public with this for hush money, whenever they were sending him to prison for Watergate, when his wife's plane was coming in with the money in Chicago, and I've interviewed the detectives and police involved, they blew her aircraft up coming in with everybody aboard just to get her. So LBJ wants Kennedy dead. Okay, I would never say that wasn't true. So the way they stage it is a few cars in front of Lyndon B. Johnson and his wife and Connolly and his wife, and they do it in a way where there are so many possibilities of failure as opposed to just planting a bomb in his car and blowing it up. No, because like then they couldn't have a lone gunman. Sure, they could have a lone bomber who they wanted it to be a public execution, so with anybody with a brain would know, hey, Black Ops runs this country. There's been a private corporate takeover of America, and if any of you politicians get out of line, we're going to kill you in broad daylight, and we've got the power. We've got the power to cover it up. So to listen, have you seen the footage? Hold on, to make the plan, have you seen the footage of the motorcade where the Secret Service throws fits when they didn't take the route they ordered them to take, the safer route, when they ordered the bubble off the top, and when they told... Well, that was Kennedy who ordered the bubble off the top. Yes, but when others ordered them not to run alongside the cars. I think that was Kennedy, too. I think Kennedy had a really weird... He didn't want to appear weak in the South, I believe. He didn't want to appear overly paranoid. I'm not saying there weren't terrible decisions made. But again, if you're going to assassinate him publicly, I don't say that couldn't happen. You do it at the Dallas Trade Mart. Because, again, he's assassinated publicly. He was going to be there speaking a few minutes later, and there's nothing to chance. You have a guy open up on him in front of everybody. It's like all this crazy stuff they throw in that is so easy to disprove. Hey, guys, you know that the Adam Gadon videos they put out of the American Al-Qaeda, you know they got caught uploading the Al-Qaeda logo in the Intel Center logo, and that Intel Center is admittedly run by two former heads of CIA and Pentagon PsyOps. I mean, they have a group run by known black ops that uploads fake videos. And then 3 weeks ago, the Washington Post, in the Spy Talk column, interviewed high-level CIA operatives who admitted that, yes, we put out a fake bin Laden video. Now, I already knew those were fake. They done Right. So wait, and the same thing is they're just going, you know, they have Geraldo up there. Oh, yeah, the government is growing the opium, and then Washington Post, we are, putting out fake videos. So we're putting out fake. Okay, hold on. So former fake CIA guys are putting up the Adam Gadon video, and the other videos. Bin Laden has been fake, and that's known. Foundry logos. So let me ask you, how does it work where somebody will call up? Because again, I understand if it was one news organization, that's one thing. But you have a lot of reporters involved, and now you have a lot of news outlets. So what happens? Does somebody go, look, we have this information, the bin Laden video was faked with voice tracking, and they go to who? The news editors who go, no. All right, I want to be specific. I mean, this actually happened, so let me just go over what happened. Back in 2001, 2002, right after it happened, they had prestigious experts in voice print, in face print, and then also in linguist and in voice inflections in France, in Canada, in the U.S. It was in major newspapers, but it only came out here and there. It never became a big, national news story like the Lacey Peterson case or something. But it was there, hidden in plain view, that not only can they take real bin Laden audio and do a voice print and create a voice key that will open doors or start cars or, get you on your computer. I mean, they know voice print. That's why you can call up to your own phone and set up a program a decade ago and speak into the phone, and it does voice print analysis and lets you into your voicemail. Okay, well, the same system, they take a real bin Laden tape, and they run it into that, and then they take the new one, and it doesn't pass voice print. Then they had linguists. You can pull up the stories. I even forget what universities. It was all over the news. And they go, that's not even a guy from the Middle East. That's somebody who probably is Arabic, probably lived in the United States most of their lives. I mean, they can tell, just like an American. You're not a linguist, but you can say that guy sounds like he's from New Jersey, or that guy sounds like he's from Alabama, or a fine Southern gentleman sounds like they're from Georgia. I mean, people know that. Well, you take somebody who's a linguist that studies Arabic voices, Arabic dialects, and they're on record saying that's not him. But you could look at it. They didn't even get a good guy. And the CIA bragged about that famous video and said, yeah, it wasn't a fake computer video. And they did release some of those. I mean, it looked like Final Fantasy. It was that basic computer template. It looked like something like a Doom, the video game. They've got some of those, too. They're just completely fake robot talking head because they're so lazy and think we're so dumb. But the particular one is just a fat bin Laden whose nose suddenly got even bigger, sitting around drinking with young boys. And
sounds like a lucky bin Laden to me.
Yeah. So that's how dumb. And so they know that the average media person kind of buys into the false reality. The average media person even if they decide to have an awakening, suddenly their buddies say, oh, well, you're a kook. And then maybe their editor lets them run the story, but then it doesn't become a big national news cycle, so it's a dead issue.
What bothers me about this stuff is like the amount of people you have to involve. There's hiding in plain sight, and then there's misinformation, but the amount of people you have to involve to make these things work, to me, is not created by these mass conspirators. It is created by conspiracy theorists who can't explain it any other way. Almost like, and I'm not going to obsess over JFK, I'm only mentioning that because that's probably the most famous of all conspiracy theories, is that in order to make their theory work, the Dallas Police Department has to be involved. There has to be a lot of people involved.
Are you kidding? You know how corrupt the Dallas Police Department is?
But there's no group of people that you can get. Ordinary American citizens.
The higher levels is a whore-running, narcotics trafficking murder crew.
Absolutely, but then they have to include the Warren Commission.
The Dallas Police Department is the head of the Dixie Mafia for the entire South of the United States.
But how do you keep so many of those people quiet?
So many quiet. Earl Warren. People said the Warren Commission.
What's the line from Scarface when the cop says, I got 20 killers with badges, and when they hit, it hurts?
Okay, that was a great line from Scarface, but that doesn't explain why the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court would run a fraudulent operation for 9 months.
Oh, really? Well, why did the other congressional study find that it was complete baloney? Justice Earl Warren? Give me a break.
What study do you mean? I'm not sure which one you mean. The other congressional study. Which one do you mean?
No, they had the commission, in 79?
The House Select Committee on Assassination did not find it was complete. The reason that what they said is
95% conspiracy.
And I'll tell you exactly why they said that. They said that because of an acoustic expert who heard something which very, very much sounds like a fourth shot. And I'm just telling you, that was what it was.
Hey, guys, can we just stop for just a minute? Because
hold on, let me finish if I could, Alex.
It's a big, important show. I understand, but I want to...
It was, hold on, Alex.
I want to talk to you.
Alex, hold on. It was a fourth shot acoustic for the House Select Committee on Assassination. And they said, by nature, if there's a fourth shot, there's a conspiracy. So I do believe you're 95% truthful thing. None of it came from physical or medical evidence.
Hey, listen, for the sake of argument, guys, let's do this. So he was CIA at secret bases and allowed to go to Russia and allowed to defect back when no one else would be and left alone. And so what? He got an office in between the CIA and FBI in New Orleans. And so what? When he was in Boy Scouts, he was recruited into a Pentagon program in South Texas. And let's just forget all that. Everything's fine. The government loves us. Let me just tell you about some things that are admitted, if I may.
I'm only talking about the acoustic evidence the House Select Committee on Assassination.
Let's just say, okay, for the sake of argument, let's just say that he was a lone gunman and everything's fine, okay? All right, everything's
Long
fine.
gunman,
You're
yes.
right.
Everything
no.
fine, though.
Listen.